Talos, it's you again. It's me and you again. What's going on? What's up, Frank? How we doing? This is something light tonight, guys. A couple of push-ups. We'll swing the mace bell a little bit and hit some squats with the dumbbell. Amanda Bond, hi to you. Hi to Ghost. Hi again to Amanda Bond. Fresh Take is in the house. Appreciate you, brother. What's up, Just Jan? Fresh take, all's good, brother. Just getting a few reps in. Hope you're doing good. You know it, esoteric. Always learning new tricks. Mikey's in the house. Frankie's here as always. We are all natural, fresh. Let him talk. Let him talk. Warrior shit, right? That's what we got. No junk food. What's up, TM? How you doing, brother? What's up, guys? We're just doing some couple of push-ups. We'll do some squats with our dumbbell, and then loosen up a little up top with the with some swings on the Mace bell. Appreciate all you guys that hit that like button. Everybody hit that subscribe button. If not, just hang out, lurk in the background. As long as you're here watching, we appreciate it. Hope everybody's doing well, getting some reps in today. Guys, that this Mace belt that I'm swinging, that only has a 10-pound, I say only, but they run a range of weights. I believe they have a 5, 7, 10, 15, might go up to 25, even 30. They're really heavy. It's a great upper body workout. It's gonna really help strengthen your grip. It's gonna strengthen those forearms, the shoulders, really your core, because when you swing that, it generates a lot of force. Again, this one's only 10 pounds, so it's on the lighter side. And I'm glad, this is the first time I've ever used it. I haven't used it before. I've used it, it's not the first day I've used it, but I never used it, years back. I just learned about it maybe about a year or two ago, and I started using this one. But in my mind, when I saw the weights, I'm thinking, what's 10 pounds? That's not a lot of weight. But I said, well, I'm gonna err on the side of caution. I'll order the 10. If I want one heavy, I'll go for the heavier one. But I'm really glad that I did err on the side of caution and get the lighter one. But believe me, when you start swinging it, you don't think of the word light, it really is a good workout. There's a lot of other exercise that you can do with it. But generally, the one that I'm doing now, this exercise is the one I generally do with it. And I'll use it as a warm-up, or I'll just do it like I'm doing tonight and just incorporate it in a little workout. But again, it's pretty much, it really is a complete upper body workout. You feel it everywhere, but it does generate, I do a lot of wrist stretching, and I would suggest that if you were ever, even if you didn't have one of these, you could go for a sledgehammer if you had that at home or something, pretty much the same difference. But you want to be careful, because with all that force that it generates, it puts a lot of pressure on your wrists. So you definitely want to make sure that the wrists are warmed up before you start swinging that around, and you want to make sure you have a really good grip on it. Something, Frank, that people should take out of their day. Other people. Like, we spend so much time with people, a lot of times toxic people, but you just spend time, if you really think about it, after you have a conversation with somebody, if you look back and say, what did we really talk about? What did I waste time talking about? I'm not talking about like family members or close friends that, but we waste a lot of time just doing things like that. And I'm guilty of it. Time management is always, my whole life has been one of my biggest problems. It still is. But just look at the people and the people that you're spending time with. Is it really constructive time? You know what I mean? And even, social media, as we stand here on YouTube. But I find myself, I'm guilty of it too. You get on Instagram, you get on Facebook, and that scrolling thing, and the clock is ticking. And before you know it, 30 minutes, an hour's gone by, So you really have to be aware of what you're doing. But one of the biggest things with me is people. I remember when I was back in work, guys would just sit and bullshit, and it's about nothing, usually about sports, and then it'll lead into something else, and it's always nothing. It's just a total waste of time. And that's not saying I'm not saying don't socialize, but just pick and choose your battles, and be aware of like what's going on here. Is this really constructive? Can I be someplace else? Because we all have other things that we should be doing, priorities, right? Sooner's in the house. What's up, brother? Fresh, I have no preference. Well, actually I do. I like morning workouts because I've said this before, it usually sets the tone for the rest of the day. You do feel much better after you get it out of the way. It's not on your mind all day. There's always the chance of something going awry, and well, I'll put my workout off until tomorrow. But I say that now. I'm standing here at 7 p.m. So the best time to work out is when you can fit it into your day. I do like the feeling of getting it out of the way in the morning, just doing it, because some people say, somebody made a comment not too long ago, I forget who it was, that said that they felt fatigued after working out in the morning. I'm the complete opposite. You know what I mean? If I'm up early, and I'm always up early for the most part, but if I get my workout done early, it just sets the tone for the day. You get that initial sense of accomplishment that you did something, and you just feel much better starting off the day. But at the end of the day, whenever you can get it in, you know. And again, like anything, you can go online and you could look it up, and they'll tell you, you know, that your energy levels are highest in the afternoon and you should work out in the afternoon. Nonsense. When you can fit it in, when you can do it, is the best time, you know. It's 24 hours in a day, and as long as you pick one of those hours and get your workout in, you're gonna be way ahead of the pack. You know, none of this like, well, you know, my biceps are only, you know, 20 inches instead of 21 because I work out at 11 a.m. instead of 4 p.m. like science says. Just fucking work out. Just do it, and you'll come out ahead. Appreciate all you guys that hit that like button. Appreciate that. You guys that hit the subscribe button, we'll take that. If not, if you're just here watching, lurking in the background, appreciate that too. You guys were asking me about the Old Dog merch. If anybody's interested, you could hit that link there. It'll have the link to that pinned link. It'll take you over to the merch site and you can check that out if you're so inclined. We also have channel memberships up and running. If you want to help support the channel a little bit, you can check that out. All those links will be under that that link on that pinned comment there. I appreciate everybody being here. So we're just doing some couple of push-ups, do some squats with the dumbbell, and we're hitting the few swings with the Mace bell for the upper body. Just to get that, again, that's going to work our grip strength, wrist, forearms, pretty much the whole upper body, the shoulders. You're going to hit the core. You got to stay nice and tight when you're swinging that. You don't want to pull anything out. It does generate a lot of force, even though the one that I have is a 10-pounder. They make them a lot heavier, which I couldn't imagine swinging around with any regularity, but this one really does the job. So again, I appreciate everybody being here. Fresh, if you're still there, you know, going back to that question about working out in the morning, at night, you know, the morning for most people is not a comfortable time. You know what I mean? They're dragging out of bed. The last thing they want to do is go get sweaty, and so I think that the morning people, I really can't say that they're more self-disciplined, but I think that takes a little extra self-discipline to pull yourself out of bed the first thing in the morning, because your inclination is to stay in bed till the very last minute. Keep hitting the snooze button, especially now it's getting cooler out, right? So you stay under those blankets as long as you can, staying nice and warm. So you're looking for every last minute of comfort, you know, and especially when it's cold out in the wintertime and It's still dark in the morning. The last thing people want to do is get up and, you know, whether they drive to the gym or they just go outside and, you know, do calisthenics, whatever it is, whatever the workout's going to be. I think it takes a little more to get yourself going. Where you'd be more, you know, in the afternoon, you're up and about. So I think your chances, the odds are a little better that you're going to get that workout in. But again, it's just too inviting to lay there in the morning and hit that snooze button. Catch a few more Z's. We got Old School in the house. What's up, brother? How are you? How's everything? Just doing some push-ups, a couple of light squats with the dumbbell, and swinging that Mace bell around tonight, just to get a few reps in. Hope everybody's doing well. Appreciate you guys that hit that like button. Choose to subscribe, we'll take that too. Or if you just want to hang out, lurch in the background, we'll take that too. Let's get another round in. Yeah, Old School, I don't know, man. I'm kind of done trying to figure it out. My friend Aldo over on Crusades of Motivation did a live this morning, and I got no notification on that. And I double check and triple check that I have the notifications on, so I don't know what's up. Don't know what's up. Appreciate everybody popping in tonight. Like I said, we're just doing some push-ups. Actually doing them with a neutral grip on the bench, palms facing in. Catching a little more of the inner part of the chest, we're feeling it there. And then some squats with the dumbbell and some swings with the Mace bell, hitting pretty much the whole upper body, you know, catching those forearms and shoulders and everything else up top, the core. Got to stay nice and tight, swinging that around. Nothing too strenuous tonight. Did some weighted calisthenics yesterday for a bit. So today was just sort of almost like an active recovery day, if that's what you want to call it, for the most part. I did do quite a bit of stretching and some banded pull-ups right before I came on earlier too, just to loosen up a little bit. All right, Fresh. Shout out to the hammies and the testes. We need them. We need them big time. So guys, I get asked this a lot, and I think most people do when it comes to working out. I guess like with calisthenics, people say, well, how many reps should you do? How many sets should you do? And again, it's always going to come down to your physical ability. Are you brand new at it? Are you very experienced? If you're that experienced, you already know the answer to the question. But for somebody who's just starting out or hasn't worked out for some time and they want to start doing calisthenics, again, you're going to have to look at your physical ability. Do you have any type of limitations? What are your time constraints? How much time are you going to actually dedicate to doing it, right? Again, I always talk about the New Year's resolution. You wake up on January 1st or January 2nd after the hangover wears off, and now everything in your life is brand new. I'm going to work out 7 days a week. I'm going to eat clean, and it never happens. So you start small. So really think about it and say, okay, I'm going to start off and I'm going to do a workout, let's say 2 days a week, 3 days a week. In that case, I would say starting calisthenics, you would want to do obviously like some type of full body. And it's always going to be 4 basic moves. Some type of push, some type of pull, a squat or a lunge for the legs, and then a hinge movement, right, for the core, any type of hinge movement. How many reps? Well, how many push-ups can you do? So let's say you could do 5 push-ups. So do sets of 3 or 4, and you just do them in a circuit. You just go round and round. You set your clock for 15 minutes, 20, again, depending on how much time you have, how much you think you could really do. Say 30 minutes, and go around at your own pace. And you'll do your push, then you go to your pull, or you pull and push, then you do your squat, and you do your hinge. Your rest is needed, and you just go round and round. So there is no right answer to how many sets, how many reps. It's all contingent upon your ability. Then, as you progress, and now you're getting stronger and you're becoming more experienced, and you actually, now you're gonna dedicate more time, but you're gonna do 4 days a week to working out. Then if you wanna split it up to an upper lower, right, you could do 2 days you do an upper, 2 days you do a lower. And then you can get even more nuanced as you progress, if you're gonna put even more time. You know, you wanna do a push day, a pull day, and a leg and core day or something like that. So really the bottom line is there's no correct answer, you know what I mean? But like everything in life, it's simple in theory, right? Just decide, sit down, and you have to be realistic. Nobody's gonna start off and say, I'm gonna work out 7 days a week. Or somebody who's never worked out or hasn't worked out in some years, and you're overweight and you're still learning how to eat and things like that, you're not gonna dedicate 6 days a week to working out. It's not. It's not a matter of putting anybody down, but it's just, let's be realistic. You're not gonna do it. So start small. And again, those little victories, you start building self-esteem, the discipline starts coming in, you're doing 2 days a week solid, then 3 days, and you just build from there, and you build the momentum. That's how you do it. But you're gonna get discouraged. You know, if you come out of the gate like most of us do, you know what I mean? This is it. From now on, from this day forward, you know, if you're trying to change any habit, kick any habit, or instill a new habit, and you think you know you're gonna do it all in one day, it just doesn't happen. It's a recipe for disaster. You know, and again, like everything else, we have the internet, and you're gonna go on and one guy's gonna say, this is the best way, that's the best way, this is the best way. You have to do it this way to get the gains. You start with the basics. You always start with the fundamentals. Then, again, as you build the momentum, you're building a little self-esteem, you're getting more confident in yourself. Now you got the discipline, you're putting in a little extra time. Then you could start branching off and learning new things, right? You give a 17-year-old kid a driver's license, you know what I mean? You drive around with them, you watch them, you keep them on the side streets away from the traffic. You don't give him the keys to an Indy 500 car the day he gets his license, right? He's got to build himself up to that. So you start small and you build up, and just stay realistic about it. But none of this is rocket science, guys. Everybody, you know, everything in life, we get that analysis paralysis. We always want to figure out the perfect way, and we haven't even started yet. And the best way to find the perfect way is to do it the imperfect way, right? And then you're gonna learn as you go along. Oh, that kind of didn't work so much, so let me try this. But that's how you do it. And then that's, you can you can apply that rule to anything in life, you know? I waited, you know, I thought several years ago about starting up a YouTube, hey, maybe I'll start up a YouTube channel. And then I sat there for a year watching YouTube videos, and what should I do? What kind of camera do I need? And, you know, where should I set up? And just all this crazy stuff. And I wasted so much time. And now here I am doing it. I'm still not good at it, but I'm going to keep doing it. Even if I never get good at it, I'll keep doing it. I enjoy it. So, you know, you could sit there for the rest of your life and think about things. But the problem is, we're talking now about our health, and it's not a good idea to sit around and wait. You know, we have to be proactive when it comes to our health. If you never start a YouTube channel, you could still live a full life. But if you let your health go by the wayside, not good. It's not good, you know. Exactly, Mike. Exactly. We sit and we overanalyze, and you know, in some ways, you know, we're kind of using it maybe to justify because we all like to procrastinate with things. So we're kind of using that maybe as a justification. Well, I would do it, but I'm not sure exactly how to do it. I'm just going to find out how to do this, and then I'm going to start it up. You know what I mean? And you always have that reason in the back of your mind. And you know you're bullshitting yourself, but you kind of tell other people. And at the end of the day, nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares, you know? So, but be proactive with your health, guys. Don't sit around and don't get that paralysis by analysis when it comes to your health. Anything else in life, you know, whatever, we could figure it out as long as you're healthy. But again, it's not rocket science. I do it, and I'm just an asshole with an iPhone, right? Believe me, I'm no smarter than any of you guys. I'm no bigger, stronger. I'm not genetically fucking predisposed to anything, and you know, it's just a matter of being consistent. And I enjoy doing it now, and I like the feeling that it gives me. You know, I talk about this pretty often when I'm on here. I do, you know, I started working out when I was a kid, but I always had that in the back of my mind that just, I work out so I could do what I want. I could drink like a filthy, like a drunk ape, right? And well, tomorrow, as long as I get up and go to the gym, it's gonna wipe everything away, right? And I could eat in the middle of the night and eat whatever I want and just and I was never an obese guy, you know what I mean? When I was younger, in high school, I was like 140 pounds, and then when I filled out at about 21, 22, I was maybe 175 pounds. Shortly after that, I was working out a ton. I was doing a lot of heavy weights and stuff, and I went up to, I was like, for years I was like in the 190s, but then later on, I kind of ballooned up like to about 230. I think that was like my heaviest weight, and that was not a good weight. There was a lot of bloat, eating wrong, you know, and but I still thought, well, I'm working out, so you know everything else is going to get fixed, and it's not the case, you know. So it's always going to be a two-pronged approach. You have to learn what to put in your body, because I say this pretty much on every one of the videos that I do. Your health it manifests from the inside out, right? So if you're pouring shit down your throat and you're doing damage to the inside of your body, I don't care how much you could deadlift. You can try and impress me and say, bro, I could deadlift 500 or, you know, whatever, how much you're benching and this and that. It's not gonna fix your organs inside. It's not. It never will. I don't care how many push-ups, I don't care how much you deadlift, how much you squat, how much you bench. You have to put the right stuff in your body, right, in order to be healthy. All right, Jupiter, if you say so, brother. I guess I'll take that as a compliment. Fresh, we got to clean it up, brother. We got to clean it up. Taco Bell's not your friend. Taco Bell is not your friend. I don't care how good they make it look, how healthy they make it sound. You're destroying your body putting that stuff in there. I'm sure, you know, I mean, I can't even tell you the last time I was in Taco Bell, but all of these fast food, you know, joints, all these GMO ingredients and soaking everything in canola oil and soybean oil, and God only knows what else is going on in there, right? But you got to stay out of those places. And it's hard. It's enticing. It's addicting. And it does taste good. I'm not going to deny that. But that's all by design. They do that on purpose. They do it specifically to get us addicted to it. You know, that's the end game. They're in business to make money, and what they sell, as long as we buy it, no matter what it's doing to you, they don't give a shit what it's doing to your health. If you're gonna go in there and plunk your money down, pull out your card and pay for it and eat it, they'll keep making it, and they'll make more of it, and they'll make different types of it. What's he gonna eat now? Holy, and they're in the back room, holy shit, he's actually eating it. Give him some more, sell him some more, you know? People don't get it. People just don't get it. I mean, it seems like some people are coming around, but there are just some people that just will never realize it. You know, they just don't, like, what do they say? Like, it's so much easier to fool somebody than it is to convince them that they've been fooled. You know, and you look at all this food that we're eating, the processed food, and I've had people tell me, no, I'm fine, I could eat all I want, I could eat all I want. You know, most of us are fat and sick, and then the ones that aren't, those are usually the guys that say, well, I could eat what I want. And, you know, like I said, I'm 6 feet tall, I was about 230. I certainly didn't look obese, you know, when I was dressed. I didn't look like I was obese, but I was doing damage to my body. It was around that time the blood pressure was going up, and everything was going awry. You know what I mean? I was working a lot. I was stressed out. I mean, it wasn't good. It just wasn't good. But to convince people that it's, you know, especially people when they get to be in their 40s and 50s, it's so ingrained, if you want to use the term indoctrinated, they believe that this is supposed to be happening. Well, I'm 50 and I'm supposed to have high blood pressure. I'm 50, my father was a diabetic, I'm supposed to be a diabetic. Type 2 diabetes, type 2, not type 1 I'm talking about. Type 2 diabetes is absolutely a condition that we eat, drink, and stress ourselves into, right? There's other factors, you know, these forever chemicals that we're exposed to, but generally speaking, it's a lifestyle condition. They'll have you believe that it's some genetic condition that once you flip that switch and your A1C hits 6.5 and you're a type 2 diabetic, well, what do you expect? Your mother was a diabetic, you're supposed to be a diabetic. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna give you the medication, it's okay, but all we could try and do now is try and keep it under control. And people on these medications that are type 2 diabetics, the advice they give them, you go to the American Diabetes Association, to their website. If you eat what they have on that website, if you're not a type 2 diabetic, you will be if you take their dietary advice. Absolutely. Fresh baguettes? No, I don't remember the last time I had a baguette. Yeah, I mean, I'll have an occasional bagel, very, very occasional, like not often at all. Pasta, I used to eat a lot of pasta. That was a big part of my diet, was pasta. If I have it now, I really don't, to be honest with you. I mean, maybe a small bowl of it, maybe a couple of ravioli. I was always big on cheese ravioli. Cheese ravioli was my kryptonite, you know, so I was big on that. But you're right, that is, for most people, that's the pasta, you know, the breads, that's really gonna spike your insulin. Well, it's gonna spike the blood sugar. But again, you'll never know with the insulin because they don't test insulin. They'll never test it. They don't. They always rely on the blood sugar, which is another scam, which is a rabbit hole we don't want to go down right now. But that's why it behooves a lot of people to, if you're borderline, if you think you might be heading for trouble, right? You think your A1C might be creeping up, you get yourself a glucometer. Just go to Walmart, and after you have a meal, you know, you test yourself before a meal, and then an hour after and 2 hours after, and see what your blood sugar is doing with that food. And if you're getting crazy sugar spikes like that, there's definitely an issue. There's a serious issue. So yeah, you got to be careful. You know, you got to be careful of what you're putting in your body. And almost all bread is complete shit. It's just absolute shit. You know, and again, people will walk into the supermarket, and just because the thing says whole grain or 7 grain or whole wheat, they automatically think it's healthy. But if you look at the ingredient list on bread, there's like 14, 15 ingredients. Why? You know what I mean? Why are you putting high fructose corn syrup in whole wheat bread? You know? But again, people are just, they don't dive deep, they don't do any research, they just see, and they look at the labels, all the labeling, they don't read the ingredient label. It's too much reading. They'll just read what it says. It'll have the picture of like a forest on it, you know, and green trees, and say all natural, and then they use all the buzzwords, you know, on kids' juice, a bottle of juice, they'll put gluten-free. Well, why the fuck would there be gluten in a bottle? And it's not even juice, it's high fructose corn syrup. But my point is, why would there be gluten in that? But people see that and they think it's healthy. You know what I mean? So everything you see says non-GMO and gluten-free. And then people think, okay, that's super healthy. I'm gonna eat that. It's just crazy. It's crazy and sad in a lot of ways, because we're in trouble. We're really in trouble, guys. With again, I'm glad to see that some people are starting to come around. You know what I mean? More and more. But generally speaking, if you walk around, it's a disaster. You know, I don't know how many of you guys are here in the States, in the United States, but you know, we're near we're not even the worst. I mean, there's a couple of places out in the Pacific, I guess, like a couple of small countries that are even worse than us, but we're bad. We're like really bad. You know, 75, 80% overweight or obese. You know, that's every 10 people in a room, 8 of them are going to be fat. It's absurd. It really is absurd. Try and get another set in here. Hold on to that thought, Fresh. Well, if you do any research, find out how long it takes for a drug company to research a drug, test it, get FDA approval, and actually get it on the market. How long that actually takes. And then if you further research how many times they've done it and it's been approved by the FDA, and then turns out that the drug was actually harmful and they've been pulled off the market. for whatever reason, right? Because people were getting injured from it, they were getting sick from it. Maybe there was a diabetes drug some time back that they found out people were getting, I believe, liver cancer from it, so they pulled that off. So after years and years and years of research and development, and then review by the FDA, which is probably a lot of happy horse shit in itself, then they put the drug on the market, and then it turns out that it's not safe. So now we have this situation where they come out with this thing in a matter of, I don't know, a year and a half, was it? I don't know, 2 years at the most. And then they line everybody up and they say, don't worry about it. Put this in your body. It's okay. It's perfectly safe. But then they also make you sign a waiver, basically, saying that I agree to take this, put it in my body, and basically if anything happens to me, I'm not going to hold you liable for it because it's still in the experimental stage, right? So would you feel safe doing that? And then if you turn around and I say, okay, so all that being said, that was my reasoning, and then I say, are you sure it's safe? I don't know if I want to put it in my body because I don't really know if it's safe, and I'm really confused about it. And then they shout you down and say, you can't go to work if you don't get it. You're an anti-vaxxer. You're a conspiracy theorist. You don't follow the science, right? And the thing is that half of the population will buy into that narrative. And then they'll start shouting you down and saying, if you don't get it, you're killing people. But then they told you in the beginning that if you get this, you can't get the virus and you can't spread the virus. And I actually found about 2 weeks ago, it was that the transgender, that's the admiral. She walks around with like an admiral suit on, never served a day in the military. I can't think of her name, his name, whatever you want to call it, but it was a video, and it was on Twitter, saying that it's absolutely safe, and if you get it, you're not going to get the virus. And then people were getting the virus, and they said, oh, no. Well, what we meant was you could get the virus, but it's not going to be as bad, right? And do you know how many people I've had say to me, I got the virus, but thank God I had the shot, because it would have been a lot worse. How the fuck on God's green earth would you know what would happen if you would never know? But it's so ingrained in you, you believe this whole narrative. You'll believe whatever people tell you, whatever the government tells you, whatever these companies tell you, you know? And I'm not saying that they're not right. I don't know, but I should have the right to question it, and I should have the ability to say, I don't want that in my body. You know what I mean? If any of these people that believe in it and they shout you down and say, if you don't get the shot, you're killing. But if you got the shot, you're protected. If you believe the narrative, you're protected. So what do you care if I get it? You'll be laughing at me when I drop, you know? But those same people, if I walked up to them with this cup and said, here, drink this. It's good for you. You're going to like it. It's healthy. It's a health drink. Just take a sip. Nobody in their fucking right mind would take the cup out of my hand and drink it. But you'll go and you'll put your arm out and say, go ahead, I want to live forever. And then the same people that do that, once they get their shot, they go to fucking Taco Bell. All right? And they're 300 pounds. And they're not worried, they won't put the time into their health, right? Because if you look at the people, they talk about comorbidities, the heart disease, the diabetes, being obese, all this. These are the people that were dropping for the most part. There's always exceptions to the rule. I get it. I get that. But the vast majority had all these comorbidities. And they weren't worried about that. They weren't telling people, make sure you take vitamin D, make sure you build up your immune system, make sure you live a healthy life. And when we were on lockdown, what did they let open? Fast food joints, pizza joints, liquor stores, marijuana dispensaries. They were allowed to stay open. But you couldn't be next to people. Otherwise, everybody was going to die. But you can go get your fucking, you know, your vodka. What's up, Jeff? I was on a roll there, brother. I didn't see. Fresh, Fresh, you're not in the States? Where are you? Jeff, that's a very good, I like that. Quietly not comply. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Because unfortunately, in this day and age, if you're too loud, things don't usually work out too well for you. Oh, you're in New York. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm in Jersey, so it's not too much different, you know. Both coasts. You know, you got California, you got Washington State, you got Oregon. You come over here, you got Rhode Island and New York, New Jersey. Connecticut, all of these states. It's unbelievable. Good morning, Bala from India. How you doing? Thanks for popping in. I'm just finishing up our workout. We did a couple of push-ups, some squats with our dumbbell, a few swings with the Mace bell, and that was about it. I appreciate all you guys that hit that like button, everybody that subscribed. Any of you guys that were asking about the Old Dog merch, you could hit that link, that pinned link there. There'll be a link in there to check out the merch. We got the channel memberships up and running. If anybody's interested in that, you want to check that out. If not, thank you, Bala. I appreciate that. We're trying. Just trying to stay consistent, you know? That's what it's all about. We were talking about that earlier. Just trying to stay consistent. And prioritize your health. That's the main thing, you know? All right, guys. The coffee cup is empty. I think that's going to be it for the night. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for being here. I appreciate the feedback. Appreciate everybody interacting. Everybody make sure you get your reps in. Above anything else, stay safe and stay healthy. And I will talk to you guys in the next one. Thanks, guys.